Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm joined by a special guest, my good friend Daniel, aka Double D. Daniel, how's it going?
I'm alright, thanks, Oz. How's things?
Yeah, man, all good, all good. How are you feeling about the match tomorrow? Because you're a Liverpool fan like myself. How are you feeling?
Um, I must say, I'm I'm quietly confident that we can do something, man. I know, obviously, cup final form could go out of the window, but
Yeah,
we're, despite one or two injuries, the squad's looking good, squad's looking better, and flowing at the moment. So hopefully we keep that momentum going into the final and can hopefully bring it home and get our record back as having won it the most. Because Man City have been stacking trophies in the last few seasons and they're level with us on 8 now. So
that's
let's
right.
see what
I
we can
think
do.
the last time we were in the final was in 2016, I think it was. I think that was the
Yeah,
first
we lost
year.
to City.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that's the first season Klopp was our manager as well. So
yeah, and you got to the UEFA Cup final as well.
UEFA Cup final in the same season. So yeah, so that wasn't really the best of times in Wembley. So that was our last time. I think that was actually our last time at Wembley as well. So I'll be honest with you, I'm confident as well. I think, especially with the acquisition of Luis Diaz, it's just added more quality in our squad depth. Obviously, we have
Yep,
to give honorable mentions to Divock Origi and Taki Minamino as well, who for me were fantastic throughout this campaign. Minamino, I believe, scored 4 goals and Origi
yep,
scored 2 goals. So they definitely contributed and helped us get to the final.
definitely.
But I think that's probably one of the reasons why actually we're in the final because I think in the past, and I think you'll probably agree as well, we've never really had a quality squad, in my opinion. I always felt like our first 11, probably max 18 members of our squad were to a good level. And after that, we had sort of mediocre players that didn't really do well in this competition. So we'd always have this sort of, we'd have one or two good games and then we'll fall apart or we'll lose on penalties or whatnot. So
Yeah,
it's actually a bit of it's actually a good change that we're actually challenging for this competition as well as the FA Cup. As I always feel like it's always bottom of our agenda. We're always going for the title or the Champions League. So
I
as
think that's because of as you said, the squad's looking much better now. I think because of the
yeah,
squad in previous seasons, it's been all about protecting the front three. So
100%.
obviously, but look, for even Klopp said it himself yesterday. For his Liverpool team to be remembered, they need to
Yeah,
win more trophies. And considering how good we've been, I'd say
yeah,
from 2017 onwards, basically since Salah Cup, because we started 16, 17 when we got Mane, we started to look
yeah,
better, but then kind of tailed off. Didn't get top four till the last day of the season. I
yeah,
think I'd say since 2017 we've been much better, and but we've not had the trophies. Though we've won the two biggest trophies there are in club football, we've not got enough trophies to show how good the team have been. So
yeah,
this is a perfect opportunity, and still in the FA Cup as well. We just got to go out and before Klopp leaves, hopefully it does a U-turn and stays longer. But
yeah.
before Klopp leaves, as it looks as though it'll be 2024, need to get as many trophies in as possible, man, to reflect how good this team actually are.
That's a very good point because I was thinking about it the other day. Like, obviously, touch wood, we don't want Klopp to leave anytime soon. Hopefully, he
Mm,
does do a U-turn. But in terms of, let's say, when he does leave Liverpool in the future, for him to just say that he's won the league and the Champions League, for me, maybe it's not enough in terms of having him as like legendary status at the club if you compare it to what Bill Shankly and Bob Paisley did in the past.
yeah,
But the more trophies he wins, the more sort of I think more value it is in terms of his time at the club. Obviously, we're thankful in terms of the first league win in like 30 odd years. But just to have those two trophies under his belt, it kind of if you compare it to a manager like Pep, it's not the same level, isn't it? So the more trophies we win, like you said, the more trophies we win, the more it kind of puts his status as for Liverpool legend. He's already there, but in terms of Premier League managers, I feel like he needs more accolades to kind of cement that kind of position there. So
Yeah,
very interesting regarding that. I think in terms of team news that I've gathered today, so Jota is in contention to play. He's obviously just coming back from an injury. Firmino might not be able to make it. He's
yeah,
training.
yeah. Firmino's definitely out, definitely out.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dave said, yeah,
but for Chelsea, they've announced that Kovacic, Ziyech, Reece James, and Mason Mount were back in training. So
mm.
all four of them are in contention to play in this game. I have a feeling that James will start just because of the way Tuchel was speaking. What do you think about that?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking myself, and that will be an important one because
Yeah,
the wing backs, him and Chilwell, though Alonso started the season well,
mm,
James and Chilwell, especially once they starting regularly on the right and left, were massive for Chelsea. Obviously, Chilwell's going to be out for an extended period of time, but getting Reece James back brings another dimension to their attacking play. It will be a shame if obviously he is fit to start against us because of how good he is, and that will obviously that could neutralise the amount Robertson is
yeah,
able to get forward on that big Wembley pitch. But
mm,
we'll see. But yeah, it looks like probably will start. Kovacic is huge for them because I think that Kovacic has been Chelsea's best player this
yeah,
season, and and obviously the wing backs did their thing. But I think his injury was when these draws and these other results started um, coming in. Because remember, people going on like Chelsea had won the league in October, and then
yeah.
it tailed off. So we'll see, but yeah, they've got options. They've got options. If there's no issue with Kante's fitness, then it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see what their starting lineup's going to be.
So what I'll do now, I'll present a predicted lineup for both teams that I feel like will be playing tomorrow. So
I'll present a predicted
here,
lineup for both
the
teams that I
Chelsea
feel
lineup,
like
I've
will
got
be.
Mendy in the team.
Mhm.
So I know Kepa had a run of games during the campaign, but I feel like Tuchel might have the viewpoint that we have to win this game just to
Yeah.
get the trophy. So I think he'll go for Mendy. Back three, I've gone for Rudiger, Silva, and I think he'll bring in Aspilicueta, even
Mhm.
though Christensen has been in great form. What's your viewpoint on that? Do you think that is a defense he'd go for?
Yeah, more than likely, that looks about right. Um,
Mm,
I would think, unless obviously, as you said, if James wasn't to start, it might then be Aspilicueta at
yeah,
right wing back. But then I'm not sure he'd fancy that on at Wembley.
yeah,
So yeah, that team's probably looking spot on. Unless
yeah.
obviously, I'd say Ziyech because he's been in good form
Mm.
as he trained to start instead of Pulisic. Otherwise, I agree with that team. I don't think Lukaku will start.
No, I think that's been the talking point in terms of Lukaku. Will he be introduced back to the team? I think it's quite evident that he's not really highly regarded by Tuchel right now. So Havertz had a fantastic performance midweek against Lille. And I've put Mount in there, even though he hasn't played recently. I feel like he will be sort of like a clever player in that front line where he will drift in field as well, and that will allow Reece James to bomb down that right hand flank. So, like you mentioned, troubling Robertson on our left hand side. But I feel like Mount would probably drift and start playing like a number 10. So he would be able to open the doors for Pulisic and Havertz to play on the shoulder and actually
Yeah,
go for goals. So that's the reason why I've got Mount in that lineup. But Ziyech, like I said, has been in great form. I think because he was injured earlier on, I thought maybe he's a bit too soon or he might not be fully fit to play. In terms of their left wing back, I know Chelsea fans are a bit hit and miss regarding their viewpoint on Alonso, but there is no other player that they can bring into that team right now. So I have a feeling this will be the lineup, but we'll see how that goes.
yeah.
In terms of the Liverpool team, so it has been confirmed that Kelleher will be the starting goalkeeper for our team. Do you
Mhm.
think that's the right call, or do you think Allison should have been playing in this game?
So I think, yeah, he's got us here. I agree with you that I think that Tuchel will probably go with Mendy, though. Obviously,
Yeah.
Kepa has been the cup goalkeeper. But yeah, Keller has got us here. It will be a good experience him being by Wembley. But hopefully, being at Wembley, but hopefully we'll get to Wembley again in the FA Cup. And then Allison can start there. So yeah, I think that's right. I think
Yeah.
there's a possibility because of how Havertz can drop off and link up the play, and for his height's got decent pace. I think there's a possibility that Kanate might start the final,
Okay.
though maybe even Gomez. But though Gomez, his lack of game time. Though Matip's been brilliant this season. I
Yeah.
think he's been better than Van Dijk this season because obviously Van Dijk's working his way back into a rhythm
Yeah.
after being out for so long. Um, so yeah, I think otherwise, yeah, with Firmino out and Jota struggling for fitness, so probably at best would be on the bench. I'd say that the Liverpool team probably looks more spot on than the Chelsea one.
Yeah. I think with Matip, I'm glad you said that because as Liverpool fans, we see how he performs week in, week out. I think the neutral fans are seeing it as well. But with Van Dijk, obviously, he's not quite up to his elite level as probably a couple of years ago. But
Yeah,
Matip has been phenomenal. Obviously, he hit the ball point last week where he scored his first goal of the season, which was a nice finish as well. So great to see him playing. And I think he just brings something different to our defensive line where he's one of those players that can dribble with the ball and go on some marauding runs, which is unexpected
yeah,
from a centre back, and it can kind of trouble the opposition's midfield. So that's why I
exactly,
think I would still go
exactly,
for Matip.
exactly. Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
I would still go for Matip ahead of Konate. I think if Lukaku was starting, then you'd probably favour Konate to be in that position more, just because he would have been able to handle his physicality and pace a bit more in comparison to what Matip would do, in my opinion. But
mm,
for me, I feel like Van Dijk and Matip have been formidable as a partnership together. Thiago's back, which I'm over the moon about, and he's been great.
mm.
And I think you can see the difference he does bring to the team whenever he plays. Uh, the sort of the third position in midfield, I think, is up in the air. Some fans would probably want Elliott there. Um, I think Henderson will start in this game, obviously being captain, but I feel like he would probably bring that sort of security into midfield, and with his passing range will be quite helpful in the first 90 minutes of the game. If we was to go extra time, then you can bring on a player like Elliott who can kind of give that spark, that creativity from the midfield. But I think to start, Henderson should be the player going forward. And front three, I was impressed with how all three of them performed against Leeds United.
Mhm.
Diaz, Mane, and Salah. Mane can play up front with ease, just similar to how Jota plays as well. And Diaz looks to be fantastic on that left hand side and causing all sorts of havoc. What have you made of Diaz so far?
I've been a fan last season, especially
Yeah,
Porto, but this season started off really well. Was on course there for his best goal scoring season of his career.
yeah,
Beats people. Maybe might have to bulk up a little piece for Prem football, but good pace, and he beats people, commits people. That's what I liked, especially when he came on against Inter, for instance, in the Champions League. Just going at people, and that's what we need. Someone's going to beat someone because then that makes the opposition go back. Obviously, the point you made, obviously, about Matip in the back four as well, is that people underestimate when centre half can dribble like that and carry the ball out of the defence. It makes the midfield think twice. It makes the defenders think twice. And the good thing about it is that the likes of Thiago and Fabinho have the sense to then drop in
yeah,
like another defender to cover the space, obviously, that he's left. And I was so happy for Matip when he scored on Wednesday against Leeds, because he goes on numerous of those marauding runs forward and doesn't get
yeah,
the reward for it. But now I've liked what Diaz is doing. Diaz has slotted in like he's been at Liverpool, like he's been playing Premier League
yes,
football for a couple of years. He did a very good Copa America. He had as well for Colombia.
yeah,
We also that goal last season against City in the Champions League.
yeah,
And no, he looks good. He looks good, and we needed that because that's like him as an inside forward or winger. That's his natural position. Whereas Klopp, like down the years, has used Origi a lot there, and I think Origi would be is best in the centre because he's a striker. Let's face it, it's something only because of the formation where Klopp will shoehorn him in on the left or the right.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the midfield, yeah, I think it will be Henderson that gets the nod. But at the same time, if he wasn't to start, it wouldn't 100% surprise me. But Thiago and Fabinho, when they've both started together in the midfield, not when Fabinho's had to fill in as a centre half last season with all the injuries, but when they have both played together in the midfield, Liverpool still haven't lost.
Yeah.
So obviously, if that's how the midfield's going to be tomorrow, long may that continue.
Long may that continue, indeed. So before we conclude the show, I have to get your prediction. What do you think the scoreline will be?
Ooh, I think it will be done in normal time. I'm gonna I don't want to be too bold because I think if we're on it, then we're gonna then we can show them something because we've had 2 draws against them. I thought we played within ourselves in the league in the 1-1 draw. I don't think that all our shots were like from the edge of the box or outside the box once they went down to 10 men.
Yeah.
In the game at Stamford Bridge, we had no element of control over the game with all the people that we had out because our first choice midfield was out of that Chelsea game. Keller has started in goal in that one. Robertson was suspended, wasn't he? So Tsimikas had to start at left back. Though Tsimikas has done very well when he's filled in for Robbo, but we all know Robbo, he's a world-class player. I'm going to go with 2-1. But if Liverpool were to score 3, I'm trying to be, usually I'm the pessimist, but I'm trying to be optimistic here. Chelsea have enough damn trophies. They seem to get to at least one cup final every goddamn year. But honestly, if we're on it, I actually believe that we could get 3. But I'm going to be realistic, let's say. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay, that's interesting. My prediction is I think we'll win 2-0, and I think we'll
2-0,
do it.
Yeah? Energy.
I don't see us conceding just because I don't think, in terms of the attack, obviously they're decent, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like we've been in such great form in terms of keeping clean sheets recently as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're looking more solid than ever right now. So obviously you have to be a bit more confident of your own team. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory.
2-0 victory. Love that. Don't care who scores. I don't care if it's 2 goals. Just what winning as FPJ, a guy that comes on our radio show, says winning breeds winning. He always says, and to get a trophy in late February, I think that both of the players will push on and push Manchester City down to the wire. We could have done with the officials being on point earlier. In that FA game, but keep winning and just keep the pressure on. FA Cup midweek against Norwich as well. Just keep on winning, and try and get as far in all 4 competitions as possible.
Yeah, we actually started our campaign for the Carabao Cup against Norwich, so let's hope.
Yeah, and named the second string and 3-0. Some tiny finishes from Minamino in there. So let's keep it going, man. Because as I said, this Liverpool team has been really, really good, but they need more trophies.
100%. Daniel, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate your time.
Anytime, man.
Appreciate it. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Daniel, let everyone know where they can follow you as well on social.
Written on there, my personal handle across all social media is @DD. That's DUBULDE. And I am part of the D&D Football Factory, and our is @DD Footy Factory _. That's on all platforms as well, except on the Facebook page is D&D Footy Factory, actually, and it's D&D Football Factory on SoundCloud, And you can catch the playbacks of our show if you can't catch it live. And we are live on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Top FM, 95.5 FM in London. But if you're outside London, it's probably best for you to use the Tune In radio app or the Simple radio app to be able to listen to that show on a Saturday morning. And we have a podcast, another new podcast coming up this week as well, which you'll be able to view on the YouTube channel D&D Footy Factory.
Nice, a lot of things going on. That's good to hear.
Yeah, man.
I'll plug in a couple of things as well. So I've got a show on Instagram Live, which is called Talk That Talk. So if you'd like to join the show, it's at 10:30 p.m. UK time. So it's for the fans to come on the show, have your say. I'm sure if you're a Liverpool fan, you probably have a lot to say about the incident that happened in the Man City Everton game, which, I'll cover more in detail in the next episode. And speaking of the next episode, I will be doing an episode next Wednesday, 2nd of March at 10:30 p.m. So covering all the games during Match Week 27, plus previewing the upcoming games next weekend as well. So again, Daniel, thank you for tuning to the show. And thanks to everyone for watching us. And hopefully Liverpool win tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
Come on, Liverpool. Nice one, man.
Right, take care, bro.